In July of 1990, President George Bush signed into law the Americans with Disabilities Act. Now referred to simply as the ADA, this history-making civil rights legislation gave people with disabilities the same fundamental legal protections as those given to individuals on the basis of race, sex, national origin, and religion. Liz DePoy is Coordinator of Research and Evaluation at the Center for Community Inclusion at the University of Maine, which specializes in disabilities. Liz is also a person whose mobility is limited due to a spinal cord injury, and she has sensory impairments. Liz states that employment figures for people with disabilities have not changed that much in the last 15 years.
The Harris poll, the first Harris poll on Americans with disabilities was done in 1986. And there have been subsequent studies conducted by Harris since then, one I think in 1994, but don't get me on my dates, and a recent one, a more recent one than that. And all three of the Harris polls found that people with disabilities were under or unemployed, and disproportionately so. Even after the ADA, there has not been a tremendous increase in the number of people with disabilities who
Getting or
unemployed.
retaining a job has not been a problem for this young man from Old Town. Avery Olmsted earned an undergraduate degree in rehabilitation services. He also has cerebral palsy and thinks lack of information by employers is a key problem.
I think that a lot of employers, not to be mean, but I think just because of not understanding and not knowing, I think a lot of employers believe that people with disabilities aren't an asset to the workforce. I think what we're looking for is just a chance to prove what we can do. I don't expect to get hired for a job that I'm not qualified to do.
You know, my feeling is that just because people have disabilities, they don't have to show what they can do in spite of their condition. And that we are like everybody else, that disability is just another diverse condition of being human. And, you know, as we look at paradigm shifts and understanding people with disabilities, rather than look at us as what we can't do, just as anybody else would be looked at as what you can do, I would prefer the same kind of treatment. And so I am not, you know, and I think I had mentioned to you, Tim, it's not, I am not on a mission to show what I can do as a disabled person. I'm not on a mission to show people what I can do. You know, I'm on a mission to do a good job. And when I go to work, I don't expect that as a woman and a disabled woman that I will have to showcase myself.
On any given day, you'll find Bernie Carson filling many different roles at the restaurant he owns in Scarborough. Bernie appreciates the employees that work for him. However, in recent years, finding dependable help has been difficult.
Employees today are not easy to come by. There's a shortage. There's not enough people to go around. Just look at your ads in the paper tells us that. I've ran ads for 3 or 4 weeks for one job. 5 years ago, we'd had a waiting line to apply for the job. We don't have that anymore.
When Bill Bridgham, a quadriplegic, applied for a full-time bookkeeper's position, Bernie was impressed with Bill's accounting education, but had questions about accommodations.
And I'd done a number of interviews, so I had kind of know what I needed to cover as far as my disability, and just to put the employer at ease that things that worried them, you know, that's what I've got to deal with. You don't have to worry about that. I'll figure a way. You know, I've always said find a way and make a way, and I usually do.
Bill advocated for himself, making arrangements so that he could make the job work. In the restaurant business, competition is fierce. Accurate accounting is vital for the restaurant's survival.
Bill sincerely takes care of the checkbook for the business, and my personal checkbook is involved with that. He lets me know that we're doing okay. He's on top of things.
This business is so close to margins on price and cost, and 1% is $5,000, and that can go quick, if you don't watch it on a regular basis.
Sales reports, bank deposits, and profit and loss statements are just a small part of how Bill Bridgham helps keep Carson's restaurant profitable. Bill also offers some unique insight as to why people with disabilities make loyal employees.
And once they get that opportunity, they're not going to waste it. They're not going to just think of it as, it's a job, well, I can find another one. Because of them, it's not. It's something they've worked hard to, most of them worked hard to try to get into. And once they find it, they'll work twice as hard to keep it, I think. And the other thing is, who's to say an able-bodied person is going to be any better for the job than a disabled person? There's, you hire somebody, you never know. And I think if the person's got the experience or knowledge, they deserve an equal chance.
And sun, highs near 30, light winds. Tonight, mostly clear skies.
To watch this Augusta disc jockey at work, it's difficult to believe that Bruce Pagliaroli is visually impaired and considered legally blind. While Bruce's eyesight is extraordinarily limited, adaptive equipment like this 20-inch computer monitor and this optical reader magnify text for him to read.
My only disability I look at is driving. But once I get to the job site, it's just like I'm just like a normal person. I take on my job and do my duties.
Finding reliable employees is critical for small and large businesses. Station manager Ray Bouchard has found the qualities he likes.
I couldn't go out and replace Bruce tomorrow and get that same quality of worker here, dedicated. He's going to be there when he says he is. He's going to do the job that he says he's going to do, and he does it well, and he does it with enthusiasm, and you can't replace that. It's well worth the $300 or whatever it costs for a small piece of equipment.
Bruce has memorized where controls, CD players, and tape decks are in the station's on-air studio and uses his senses of touch and hearing during his radio shows. Besides being a DJ at the station, Bruce is the administrator for the station's website. Adaptive software magnifies screen items to readable sizes. Additionally, Bruce Pagliaroli is director of the station's 24-hour Community Connection Hotline.
Welcome to Community Connections Information Hotline. Information available 24 hours a day. For the local weather, press 1. Events and
The public can call for weather, community information, entertainment schedules, and tourism events. The hotline is a great promotional vehicle for the radio station.
Bruce is always willing to go do more than what's expected of him. And I think that is the primary feature of his life that makes him a valuable asset to what we're doing.
Adapting to make the most of an employee's skills has paid great dividends for WWWA-FM and WMDR-AM.
The work field out there, there's a lot of people I would feel that's capable of handling the job. It's just going to be able to give them a chance to be able to work the job and adapt to it. And it's not hard to do.